Good morning, members. Once again, we're here with Reese Jones, Steve Weiser, and our lead shaper, Steve Crotty. We wanted to bring Crotty Man into the video this week because he's really a big part of this whole process. He's really made the vision for Reese and Steve come to life out here, and just interacting with him on a daily basis, I felt like it was very important for the membership to get to know and understand this man to our left. So I'm gonna let Mr. Jones do a little introduction of how they met, how many jobs they've done together, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Well, this guy is an artist, and the final product is transferred from Steve and my ideas and plans, and then Steve implements them, and he is as creative a shaper as you'll find in the game of golf. I did the Breakers Ocean course with him to begin with, and he's been part of my team on a lot of every one of our important projects since then. Did Ballon Isles, Coral Ridge, El Caballero in Tarzana, California, and now Addison Reserve. So when you see the artistry and you see the beauty, a lot of it would not be possible. It came from our vision, but he's the one that implemented it. What he did here on number 9, there's no bunkers on 9, and this is a great finishing hole. The water comes into play. We put in a bulkhead so the ball will not hit the ground and roll into the water. The purpose of having a bulkhead is to flatten the area out so when you hit a shot or hit it close to the water, it stays on the dry side, it stays on the land. From the landing area, you'll see that we added some length for the back tee, but the everyday player is going to play for the same length. For the landing area, it's all kinds of different shot options, which is what you have on this 9 holes. Every time you play this golf course, depending on your drive, you're going to have to think what you're going to do in the second shot. If you hit a really good drive, you'll go for the green maybe on the right side. If you hit a poor drive, you'll bail out to the left. But you're always going to have an opportunity to take a more cautious approach to the green or to the side of the green. So I think that's what you as members are going to have to learn. You have to learn how to manage your game because there's so many different shot options now here at Addison Reserve. So Mr. Crotty is going to tell us what he does.
Hello, membership. As you know, that's me, that bulldozer. That's what I do. It becomes part of my body once I climb in and jump in that seat. And we start out with Reese and Steve. We got little notes, we walked the holes. I try to get into Reese's head of what he wants. Steve is there for support at all times. And I was just been able, since day one, I was able to, as Reese talks on what he wants, I get pictures in my head and I see exactly what he's saying. And after we get done, I blow something in, and Steve will come up, and then Steve keeps me in line so I don't get too overzealous and too crazy, and he keeps me to where I stay on what Reese wants. And as we go, as I'm pushing dirt, the dirt has a tendency to speak to me. And as it speaks to me, my dozer just does exactly what it does. And then once we're done, you end up like products like this. It's all vision, it's all feel, it's all what Reese and what Steve wants. And I was really able to, I fit in with this group. And that's probably the most important thing. I feel at home here. We're not stuck by prints that you have to go to this line. He lets the freedom flow. And that's how you come up with this phenomenal holes.
I think the one thing that the membership has done for us, for the crew, and for Steve is they've welcomed him as part of the family. And a lot of the members have interacted with him and gotten to know him, and he's very, very comfortable. He loves being here. He loves doing the shop. Another thing about Steve too is that not only is he creative and artistic, but he loves what he does, and it's very important to him. He's a very detail-oriented guy. He tells us all the grades, and we make a few minor changes. And he works on it all the way from the subgrade, which you see right here, to the gravel layer, to the final grade, and then on the finishing, when they finish it off, Steve again checks it so he knows he's got the same grade from the bottom to the top. So Mr. Weiser, would you add something?
Well, I think, like both of Reese and Steve said, it's really been a team effort, and we obviously interact with Josh and the whole team to understand what the membership wants, incorporate that the whole way through, agronomically, the way better players play, the way shorter hitters may play. There are a lot of pieces that go into doing this. Some of it's infrastructure, some of it's design, but it all has to match together and be a finished product that everybody's going to be blown away with, really.
And I think what Steve said is that we really take into mind every caliber player here, and especially the higher handicappers, because like on this hole, you don't have to go for the green. There's a big, this used to be much narrower in the past. We widened it to give the everyday player who hits it short a chance to hit their second shot in here and have a much easier shot, not fear going in the water. Number 7, we've just finished shaping that. We've got a tee for everybody. We're really spending a lot of, Steve has been out there all day working with Steve on getting those tees right for every caliber player. And I think as you see it, number 8 is going to be a phenomenal par 5. All these holes are getting finished up. We've got all the holes shaped except for number 5, and that comes next week after the main pipe goes through. So we're on schedule. It's turning out to our liking, and I think it's going to be to your liking.
I want to add something. As I go through here from hole to hole, I stay in close contact with Josh all day long, because that's where I get my, what happens here? What if a ball goes here? And then he helps us out. Well, the club used to hate this area because they'd be stuck in the woods. So I would come up with something to keep them out of the woods. So even though I'm on that bulldozer, Josh is a huge part of what we do to make everything correct for the membership, for the average player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to take full credit for that. I mean, thankfully the golf shop has been heavily involved.
Golf
in Kevin
shop
and Josh
is heavily involved
in helping us getting the tee locations right. As Mr. Jones said last video, we're starting to get a little bit of grass on the ground. So like on number 1, you're really starting to see these features come to life, and I can't believe how good the bunkers look.
Wiggles,
the old
wiggles.
bunkers we used to have, just a couple concave noses and a couple circles with sand in them. Now we've got, as Mr. Crotty just said,
wiggles,
some wiggles in there, and just makes it beautiful.
To understand the wiggles, the bunkers came from the coastal areas. They were really created by the burrowing animals, but mostly by the wind. And the wind created a windswept frame. And I think that's what the wiggles are, really the windswept effect of the original bunkers in golf. And we've also designed them so they're pitched uphill. You can walk in and out of them. They can get the equipment. Josh can get his equipment in and out of them. And they're going to seem to be a penalty, but they're going to be a manageable penalty. So I think you really like the way these bunkers are designed.
All right, and another thing I want to do is thank the membership, the GM, the pro guys, Josh, of course, everybody up there at the pro shop, at the clubhouse. The way they welcomed me in here, they made me part of their family. And that is a big thing too, because you've got to feel welcome here in everything you do. I mean, I eat lunch with them. They inspire you to do more, to make it a little bit better. And that's what they have done. And I really want to thank them for that.
They have a beer ready for them every night.
Yeah.